Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 327. Not that anybody cares, but I don't know why I say that, but it's easier for me to keep track of them. But anyway, it's episode 327 of our Saturday podcasts. I have some finished objects. I'm excited. The first one I finished my knitted colorwork sweater. And I have blocked it and woven in the end. So this was all I had to do last week was the sleeves. I really only had to do like this 1.5 inches. That was it. So you can see there, it's a 2x2 rib. I knitted this little bit here and then put the ribbing on for the sleeves. And I blocked the bottom so you can see what the fans and feathers looks like now because I blocked it so the points actually show. I will insert me modeling this. It fits like a glove. It fits perfectly. I was really excited with it. So yeah, take a look at what it looks like on me. So here is the knitted sweater. It comes right to the top of my hips. My waist is right here, so it's just at the top of my hips. And you can see the little points showing. This is so soft and so comfortable. It fits perfect under the arms. And like I said, the yarn is really soft. You can see the neckline here. I'm real happy about that because I don't like necklines that go out real wide. So yeah, I'm real happy with how it turned out. And this is the knitted one. This turned out so very soft. I mean, I love this. The only thing I'm not crazy about, and I have mentioned it before with this yarn, is it does have thick and thin spots. So there are some spots where the stitches look uneven just because the yarn is a little thicker in some spots. So you can kind of see it like right in here a little bit. But overall, this is so soft. So that's finished object number one. It's all about the sleeves this week, apparently, because I also finished my crochet sweater. This also fit absolutely perfect. So here you can see, here's the crew neck, the collar to it. It's supposed to be a V. It's such a very slight V. The actual pattern called for more of a V, but I don't like, you can see I'm wearing a V neck right now. It just goes just a little below my collarbone. I don't like low cut things. So yeah, it doesn't have much of a V. Now the sleeves I redid twice because initially this is a shell stitch and I did the sleeves in shell stitch, but because it makes for such a dense fabric, they weren't draping really well. They weren't hanging. They were literally kind of standing out like this, and I didn't like the way that looked. So I just did kind of a web type of stitch here. There it is, you can see it. I thought it kind of mimicked the shell stitch without all the bulk, and it works. It drapes very nice. So I will model this for you as well. So here is my crocheted sweater, and here's what the sleeves look like. You can see slightly through the sleeves, but you know, I think it's fine. But the rest of it is a shell stitch, and you can see, like I said, I kind of did a mock shell stitch, almost like a mesh type of sleeve. So it also comes to about the same place as the other sweater did. So here's my waist. So it's about maybe 5 inches below my waist. I don't like tunics on me. I'm short and squashy, so I like them about this length because they don't pull up when I put my arms up in the air, but they cover everything. So, and here's what the sleeves look like. So they fit perfect. So I'm very happy with this sweater too, with how it's fitting, and it's also very comfortable. So those are my two finished objects. Then I have two works in progress. Well, I guess you count them two because they're two socks. Last week I had started the one, and I've since started a second one, and then I put them onto the same needle. So I'm doing this magic loop. So I'm doing 2 at a time, and I've been trying these on as I go. because these are cuff down. So you start with the cuff and then you work your way down on it. I'm literally at the toes, and I ran out of yarn because I was using a 50-gram skein of yarn. These are, I think, size 2. I think these are US 2s. Yes, US 2, which is, I'm reading this little teeny weeny print that's in here. These needles are Chai-Gu. I started on double pointed needles that were Knit Picks US 2s, which is the same. If you're going by millimeters, it's 2.75 millimeters. So anyway, I've been looping them around now because we are on the part going down to the toe. I was using the same ball of yarn. I didn't divide it. I just literally pulled some from the front of the skein and some from the inside, inside and the outside of the skein. And so that's why it is connected at the bottom here. And I'm literally at the toes, and I ran out. But one of the mini skeins I bought a while back from Knit Picks, it is like an absolute perfect match. Let me hold this up. There, you can see it. You would never guess that that wasn't part of that same skein. But they're not. They're from 2 different companies, but the colors, you're never going to even notice it's 2 different ones, which, yay! So, yes, that's my work in progress. So that's what I have been working on this week. What have you all been working on? Now, acquisitions. My mom and I went out shopping. I go back to work next week on Tuesday. So I took my mom out to Mother's Day early. So I wanted to go out. We just kind of spent a mom and daughter type of day together. And I wanted to do it before I went back to work because we had to work around a few things in our schedule. So it just worked better to do it then. And there is a place near us. Well, it's in Hanover, which is where my mom lives. And after we went out to lunch, I had never been to this place before. It's called Half Price Direct or Half Price Market, something like that. What they do is they buy up overstock stuff and then they sell it half price. We used to have an AC Moore in Hanover several years ago. AC Moore's a craft store. It went out of business, and this place bought a lot of their overstock leftovers. So I got there toward the end of the week, so the selection was dwindling drastically. But they did have some yarn. They had some knitting needles, but the only knitting needles they had were either double pointed, which I already had, or they had like the straight knitting needles, which I don't use anymore. I just use circulars for everything. But they did have yarn. They had a lot of Lion brand yarn as well. They had a lot of homespun, which I do like homespun. Some people are some people like it, some people don't. I like homespun. In fact, it was funny, we were shopping and I was wearing my cardigan that was made with homespun. But I really do not need any yarn. Of course, I bought some while we were there, but I really don't need any yarn. So I definitely did not buy any of the homespun, but it was buy one skein, get the other one 50% off, and it's already been marked down. So what did I get? I got some Stitch Studio by Nicole. It's called Storybook Fanfare. It is 100% acrylic, 255 yards. It's a 3-weight, which is like a light worsted. The color is carousel. So this is what it looks like. It was $3 and you got 2. So I paid $1.50 per skein. These are going to be for craft fair things because the yarn is super cheap. So I'll be using it for that. So that's the one thing I got. The other was also $3 for the 2 skeins, so I got them for $1.50. And this is also Stitch Studio by Nicole, and this is bamboo. It is a 40% rayon from bamboo and 60% acrylic, and there's 196 yards per skein, and it's called Elegant Earth. So it's more of your neutral tones. It's like grays and tans and whites. And I think this looks like, oh, it says it's a 3-weight. To me, I would call it a 4-weight because it definitely looks a little thicker than this does. And it's funny, you can hold these together. Well, this has much more yardage as well. So to me, this looks more like a 4-weight than it does a 3. I think I could use it as a 4-weight. We'll put it that way. So that was my acquisitions that I've gotten. So our upcoming videos this week, we're going to be dealing with some yarn, but I'll get to that in a minute. So Tuesday will be the Katrina Clutter Free, which is the organizing part of this channel. And I am going to be doing the medicine cabinet. Well, I call it the medicine cabinet it's in our kitchen, but it's where we keep like our vitamins and all that kind of stuff. The majority of the medications we use all the time are in that cabinet. And I think I showed it to you in the kitchen tour. It's also where my cookbooks used to live, so it was kind of a catch-all spot. So that is going to be the organizing video for Tuesday. Wednesday, we have something coming up that I have never done before. I have an overabundance of yarn, and there's some yarn that I've looked through some of my yarn stuff and my stash I am never going to use for various reasons. All of it that I'm going to be showing on Wednesday and actually selling, okay, because I am going to try to sell it at this point because it's not doing me any good, but it's all knit crate yarn. It is, which means it's all luxury yarn. None of it is acrylic. It is all really nice fiber yarn. And in fact, the sweater that I made this, I actually have some left over from this. I have one skein that's completely never even been opened. So I have some of this. That's an example of what's going to be up for sale. And I figured I would let you guys have a shot at it first before I try to sell it over on eBay, because when I sell it on eBay, I'm going to have to sell it for a more expensive price. But I've got a huge bag load full of knit crate yarn that has never been used, except for the one that's in that sweater. Everything else I've never used. The reason I'm selling it is simply because it was yarn that either Knit Crate sent me to review and they're not colors that I would use, or I have projects in mind and it's not enough yarn to do anything with. I mean, there's lots of yarn there that's, I mean, they come in 2 skein bundles, so there's plenty of yarn there to like make shawls and to make neck scarves and all that, but I've already got a lot of those. I don't need more shawls. I don't need more neck scarves. They're not something that sells at craft fairs because you have to price them so high because of the fiber content. So yeah, check out Wednesday if you want to try to get a good deal on some luxury yarn. Yeah, so anyway, that's Wednesday's video. I will be destashing and playing show and tell, showing what I'll be Vanna White doing my yarn thing and showing you what I've got. And if you're interested in any, you can let me know. So that is Wednesday's video. Then Thursday will be my bariatric update. I'm going back to work, like I mentioned, on Tuesday. So when I do the bariatric update, it'll be interesting to tell you how my first couple days back to work went. I've been off for 3 months with a knee replacement. So make sure you check out what's going on and what I'm able to do now. So yeah, that will be Wednesday or Thursday's video. So 3 videos this coming week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section, Lion Brand is running 30% off of their crocheted bags, like bags as in pocketbooks. It's the kits and the yarn. You don't need any coupon code. All you do, click the link down below here with Lion Brand. It'll take you right over to that sale. Like I said, it's 30% off crochet bag, kits, and the yarn. The sale ends on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is Lion Brand. Annie's over in their clearance yarn, and again, everything that I'm talking about you can get to by the links down in the description box. Annie's clearance yarn, they have King Cole Big Value Super Chunky for $3.29. They also have Lion Brand Mandala on sale right now for $5.98. So that is Annie's. Now, if you noticed in Show and Tell, Kim Brame's, oop, there's a little gnat in here, just about flew in my mouth. Anyway, over in Show and Tell, if you saw Kim Brame's little knitted square that she's making, she's putting those together as like a sampler Afghan. And yeah, I've made one. It's actually upstairs on the bed up in our spare bedroom. But they're squares and they have different patterns. If they're ideal to try new knitting techniques or new knitting patterns without committing to a big project, because most of the squares are like 8 by 8 or 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. They're you know, granny square size. So it's a great way to learn new stitches without a big giant commitment. So I thought, well, let's look and see what is available out there. So over in Leisure Arts, they have a crocheted version. It's an e-pattern, which means you just download it and you go from there. It's not like a printed hand. They're not going to mail you a book or the pattern. You actually download it yourself and print it out. It is called the E-Pattern Scripture Afghan, and the pattern for that is $5.99. And then the actual book that Kim is doing her squares from, it's called 60 Quick Knit, say that fast 3 times, 60 Quick Knit Blanket Squares. You can get it through Amazon. The link is down below. I put the direct link. You'll see Amazon in my store and stuff, but right below that, I'll put the 60 Quick Knit Blanket Squares, and I'll put the link directly to that item if you're interested in doing that. That's a lot of cabled squares, so if you want to experiment with some cables and things, that is over there. However, there's more patterns out there that are cheap too, and that is Mary Maxim. Mary Maxim is having an Afghan pattern sale right now. Everything, you don't need a coupon code or anything, everything's already marked down. And I did a little looking, and they actually have a crochet sampler for $2.99. These are all downloadable patterns, okay? And they also have a knit sampler blanket for $2.99. So if you want to really go cheap, check out Mary Maxim, and the links are down below. And that'll take you over to the Afghan pattern sale, and you can check out not just those 2 Afghans, but you can check out everything that they got, because $2.99 for an Afghan pattern is pretty good. So that is it for this week. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you click that little subscribe button down below, and if you click the bell-shaped icon next to it and then click all, that will let you know anytime I post a video, which this week is 3 different times. Yeah, so we are only 15 people away from our next giveaway. The last I looked, we were at 4,285. So as soon as we hit 4,300, we will be doing a giveaway. And of course it will more than likely involve yarn. So yes, make sure you stay tuned for that. Check out the videos that are going to go on this week, especially the D stash if you want some really good yarn at a decent price. So that is it for the Saturday video. I will see you again on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bye everybody.